Seems like these younger women are getting more and more delusional. Like they're literally spewing the same shit that these older generations of women are spewing. It's like it's not working for them, and here y'all are following the same ideologies and belief systems. And I'm just like, it's not all of them, but I'm just like, it's enough to where it's just like, damn. It seems like the more attractive a woman is, the more delusional her ass is too. Like, can you imagine if all the attractive, especially the wealthiest men, were the most delusional people on the planet? Like, do you know what that would do to women's self-esteem? Like, if men were just like, you know what? Since I'm the most attractive man, I'm the height that you want. I got the kind of money that you want. Now I want you to be, I want you to have a really big back, but then I want you to have a certain cup size, or you got to be a certain height size, or you got to have a certain length of hair, or you know what I'm saying, you got to be able to ride D for about an hour or so. You know what I'm saying? All these crazy expectations that women would not be able to pretty much meet, right? If men made a whole bunch of standards that women couldn't meet, you know how much their ego would be shattered. But men don't do that. But anyway, I was basically trying to explain to her, because she was talking about how, real men take care of their women. And I was thinking to myself, I said, no. The only reason why men take care of women is because, one, society tells them to. It's a social norm. And two, they either want power or control, or to have control or respect in the relationship. Because if a man is not providing for a woman, 9 times out of 10, he's probably not going to get access to her, especially if she's attractive. So that's prostitution, right? To a degree, that's pretty much transactional. That's prostitution. And if he didn't provide, he would be looked down upon from society, your family, whatever. So it's not really like he's doing it out of the kindness of his heart. It's the same with like Valentine's Day, right? Most men don't really give a fuck about the holiday, but because society pressures men into buying things for women, they fold. But let's be honest, men do not give a fuck about Valentine's Day. We do not give a fuck about buying random gifts and shit like that. We don't care about none of that shit. The reason why men do that shit is because we have a biological imperative that wants us to procreate. But if you take that out of the equation, men wouldn't do nowhere near half the shit that we do for women. We only do it to procreate. That's the main reason why men is doing all this simping, getting into chicks' DMs, giving them hella compliments, because we have a high-ass sex drive. But if you really think about it, if a man was able to control his sex drive, if he was never exposed to pornography, and I believe that's the biggest thing why men are so sex-driven, especially in their earlier years. Because, once we hit a certain age, we kind of lose that testosterone or that desire. But I believe if we were never exposed to sexuality at such a young age, which most men, they say the average man is exposed to pornography by the age of 10. Why do you think that is? Why do you think society exposes every boy or man to some type of sexuality around the age of 10? So the rest of his life, he could be chasing that high of his sexuality. Without a man's sexuality, without his biological imperative and his sexuality and his social programming, he would not become a slave to this system. The only reason why the society is able to pimp a man out for his labor is because he was tricked at a young age into indulging into his sexuality. So you got these young boys who were shown pornography, who were exposed to sexual things at such a young age, and now the only thing that they know is that sexuality. The only thing they know is they want to express their sexuality in this kind of way, because it's the highest dopamine rush that most of us get in this world. It's one of the highest pleasures on the planet is sex. Outside of whatever your hobbies or passions is, sex is probably the most primal and most desired pleasure on this earth, besides getting high or eating. But just think about that. If the average man was never exposed to pornography, if he never knew what sex was, if he didn't have a biological desire, a lot of these women would be fucked. Because they're parasites and they leech off of our energies. We are the host, they are the leech. They are the parasites. They cannot survive, or a lot of them don't want to survive without a man. Let's put it that way. Because it's not that they can't survive. They don't want to have to survive on their own. They want to be able to survive off of us. So that's the whole misconception with women thinking that men want to provide for them. And it's just like, yeah, okay, yeah. If you really believe that, keep thinking that somebody else wants to be a slave to somebody else for no benefit. Get the fuck out of here. Like, people are mad delusional. You know what I'm saying? You take away a woman's vagina, you take away a man's sexual desire, and getting anything out of a man with no benefit, I highly doubt that would happen. So, but that's the world we live in, where people are trying to skate past the fact that all this shit is transactional and it's all prostitution. No matter which way you look at it, no whether it's dating, no whether it's marriage, it's all prostitution. But people are just trying to make it seem like, you know, people are doing this because they want to do it. No, people are doing this because society pressured us into doing this. Most of these motherfuckers don't even want to be at work, but they're at work because the society said, if you don't work, you don't get these pieces of green paper to be able to forge your way of life. We're the only animals in this jungle who pay other people to live. We're the only beings on this planet, who allows the top echelon to extort us, to take advantage of us, to make us pay taxes. We literally live to work in this society. And men don't get that. But the reason why we've been extorted, the reason why we've been pimped out, is because we allowed our biological nature to drive us to this madness. It's our fault as men, because we weren't taught about sexual discipline. We weren't taught about semen retention. We wasn't taught about using that energy to transmute it into other passions of life. And so now we're walking around with the sexual energy and we don't know what to do with it. So what we're trying to do with it is put it in a woman. Not to say inherently that that's a bad thing, but just look at most of these people with kids now. These fucking people are mad miserable because they've been sold on this family, happy wife, happy life, family shit. You look at most of these couples and these motherfuckers are mad miserable. They had to get a house they didn't want to have to get. You know what I'm saying? They not even owning a house, they just paying on that motherfucker. And they still gonna be paying the damn taxes on the motherfucker when they fully pay off the mortgage. So they never really own it. But they doing all this shit. They gotta get a car, they gotta get a car seat, they gotta get baby food, they gotta get diapers. They waking up early as fuck in the morning, they stressed the fuck out. Cause they were sold on this whole, this will make you happy bullshit. But yeah, I'm just tired of people thinking that they understand men. That's the shit that kills me. Society, women, they think they understand men. And then when you have a conversation with them and you realize they don't understand shit about us because they never cared to. But we completely understand y'all. And that's why there's a lot of men. We're not bitter. We're not hateful. We don't hate women. But we understand you. And just like Tupac, it's really kind of hard to love somebody when you understand them. When you understand their nature, like Tupac. What did he say? What did Tupac say on the interview? He said, all of a sudden, he said, I couldn't understand how one day, you know, people could stand by me, and then all of a sudden the next day, people just couldn't stand by me without screaming and hollering. He said, I just couldn't understand it. He said, it's the fame. It was the status. It was him being on TV. And that's exactly how men feel. We feel like, yo, this chick don't really like me. She don't really rock with me. She's only here because she thinks either I have the potential to make a lot of money or gang status or whatever, right? Or maybe I'm attractive. But in all actuality, I'm just going to be here for the moment, or she's going to try to make me her beta male provider. We already know this. So the game that y'all running, we already know y'all game. It's the fact that y'all haven't figured out men's game, men's dating strategy yet. Like, y'all keep thinking y'all understand men. Y'all thinking it's dudes out here who actually, it's some dudes out here like me don't give a fuck about kids. Like, I don't give a fuck about having no kids. So you can say, well, we're not going to have your, I don't give a fuck about no kids. I don't give a fuck about, I don't control none of this shit, no way. I know if I have a kid with you, I'm not going to have the rights to the motherfucker, no way. I know that's going to be 18 years of child support anyway. And if I marry your ass, then that's another 18 and fucking alimony. You get what I'm saying? So it's no real gang or benefit for me to fucking play that game. That's a game for you to benefit out of. But women don't understand that. They think that men haven't figured it out yet. Oh, we're 12 steps ahead of y'all. We figured this whole shit out already. Y'all the ones left around in the loop. And it's crazy because, you know, I've been seeing mad videos of women talking about men not approaching. It's like, these were the same chicks who were online talking about they don't want men approaching. And then once y'all got what y'all got, all of a sudden y'all complaining about what y'all complained about. It's wild. It's wild to me. But hey, it is what it is. I ain't stressing about it. I'm fine, content. I don't take dating serious no more. I don't take relationships serious. I don't take nothing in this world serious anymore, because I already know it's trivial. I already know this shit is out of my control. Majority of this shit that happens here in this realm is out of most people's control. Like, if you get into an accident and stuff, most of the time it was out of your control. It was gonna happen anyway. Motherfucker robbed you or took advantage of you or some shit. That 9 times out of 10, that shit was gonna happen anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at life. Like, life is just here to suck all, especially for men, it's just here to just suck all your good energy out of you, make you feel bad, keep you putting all this energy just to get false hopes. That's the one thing I can honestly say about men. We're kind of realists when it comes to life. We understand that the system is rigged. We understand that all the shit was designed to keep us in debt, keep us broke, keep us struggling and working for the man for the rest of our lives. It's women who can't see that. It's women who believe that these corporations love them. It's women who think that society loves them because they give them privileges over men. It's women. And, you know, with this whole men walking away from society, the more men that start living out in the woods, the more men that start moving overseas, the more men who start completely ghosting society. I believe we're going to become a society like the society in Japan, where you're going to have women out on the streets holding up signs to try to get foreigners into their bars for a certain price. And the men are probably going to just be like stay at home men who never come out of their house. But they're not going to be that here, though. That's the thing. I believe in the next several years, most men ain't even going to want to spend their money in Western countries. It's getting to that point where they're not even going to spend their money in these countries. Like, that's what we're going to be experiencing on a mass scale. I believe Western men are going to take their dollars, take their silver, whatever, their crypto, whatever, and they're going to flee to countries where it's a cheaper cost of living, better quality people, because, you know, most of these second worlds and third worlds, they don't really have the highest upscale technology and maybe buildings or infrastructure. But one thing they do have that makes it up is the culture, the food, the people. And so a lot of men, they don't really give a fuck about none of this material bullshit anyway. They don't give a fuck about first world. We think we give a fuck about first world luxuries when most of us are living in expensive, overpriced, roach-infested apartments, while the 1% are basically living in these high-rise buildings and, you know, having all this money. You think we give a fuck about this shit? I can honestly say, I believe most men will say fuck it, because I've already done it once, where I've given up all my possessions, sold all my shit, and literally just fucking left. And I believe more men are going to be doing that, because it only makes sense. It only benefits us to do what's in our best interest, because we see that society and women are doing what's in their best interest. So it's like, hey, I'm not going to stick around and play this shit ass game where I'm just another option. I'm just another workhorse. I'm gonna go where and that's what most men are doing. They're going where they're celebrated. They're going where it benefits them. And I feel like that's what more men need to be doing. Like, we need to be going where we have a good time. Stop going to these fucking westernized countries, spending all your damn money, slaving, working all these damn hours, doing all this shit to get nowhere. Like, if you paying child support, alimony, rent, mortgage, light bills, phone bills, and you ain't got a fucking pot to piss in, it's like, bro, what's the point? You're not really getting nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this shit is designed for you to be running in circles, bro. Car insurance, gas. Bro, I paid all that shit, bro. I'm not doing that shit no more. I'm not, man. I'm finna be a fucking drifter, bro. I'm not paying for none of that shit, bro. This shit is some bullshit. You know? I might give me an RV. I was thinking about that. I was like, shit, I might as well just give me an RV. Give me an RV, and if I want to have relations with a woman, I just get a fucking hotel or something. But what I'm not finna do is keep paying these corporations to keep bleeding me dry. That's what I'm not finna keep doing. And I believe that should be the new movement for men, to do whatever benefits and pleases us. We need to start being more selfish. Men have to be more selfish. If we want to win in this game called life, we have to be more selfish. All of that being a sacrificial lamb and doing for other people, that's bullshit. Don't nobody do for us. We the only people on this planet that gotta go through hard times and struggles and everything by ourselves. And, you know, motherfuckers look down on us, talk crazy to us when we fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Be treating us any kind of way. Ignoring us. You know what I'm saying? All that bullshit because we in a fucked up predicament. But once we succeed, once we get good shit happening to us, all of a sudden now all these other random motherfuckers want to come and be in your face. Shit's weird. And that's why this go round, I'm staying away from the butter. I'm buying nothing but guns. I'm not fucking with no butter. I might buy one thing. The only thing I might buy that's going to be considered butter is maybe some gold teeth. But other than that, I'm leaving that materialistic shit alone, bro. Like, I'm getting all my shit in order to where I could just say fuck the West, fuck the world. I'm gonna be where I want to be at. I can stay where I want to stay at. You know what I'm saying? And not have to really worry about surviving in the corporate world, playing the politics, trying to compete amongst these men for these low value women. Like, it's insane, bro. Like, outside of the bedroom, outside of companionship, what do you really get? I mean, if you want an emotional connection, I guess. If you want somebody to hang around you, I mean, you can always get a pet. That's what women do. When they ain't got no company, they go out and get them a pet, bro. It's not that deep, man. But I understand men have this unquenchable desire to want to have a female companion around because it makes you feel like a man. You need a woman to feel like a man. I get it. Society has duped you, man. I get it, man. You want to be with one woman for the rest of your life, even though she got 3 or 4 baby daddies. You know, even though she got the cooties. Even though she done slept with all your homeboys. Even though she don't really find you that attractive, but, you know, you got the bread, so she fucking with you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, shit's mad weird, bro. When you look at the dynamics, like, this is what I've noticed in the gym lately. I've seen some average to okay looking women, and they're always with this fat, ugly looking dude. And I think to myself, I'm like, this is why money was created. So these fat, ugly slobs can get girls. This is exactly why money was created. Like, if you really think about it, like, it was so the undesirables can have access to women. Because I can naturally get access to women without resources. But those type of guys would never be able to get access to women because they're not there. They don't have the genetics. They don't have the physique. They don't have it. All they have is resources. And so when I look at that, I say, Women say they're the prize, but yet they let some fat, sloppy, ugly dude be around them, hugged up on them, kissing on them, having sex with them. But yet you're the prize because you prostitute yourself out to some fat, ugly, chubby dude. So think about that, fellas. When you see that girl that you're talking to, think about how many fat, ugly, old, chubby dudes have smashed her for some money. That's what I'm thinking about now. I'm thinking about how many fat, ugly, unattractive slobs did you have sex with for your survival? Because that's what they do. They're telling you that they're all about money and status. And so you should be looking at it like that. This is a transaction. I want this hot-looking girl. She wants my resources. Either I can do this the short-term way or I can do this the long-term way. Either way, you still got to pay. Either way. I mean, on a rare occasion, if you're attractive and good looking enough, maybe you can get a freebie. But most likely, that woman is going to want some type of peace. She's going to want something. She's going to want something out of the deal. It's weird. But yeah, she's going to want something out of the deal, man. So think about that, man. As a man, as you walking around here, you feeling down about yourself. You know, you're going through hard times. You can't make no money. That's men's greatest weakness, is not being able to make money, or when shit is going bad in his life and he can't make money. Like, a lot of this economics and stuff is out of our control. Like, you can see that with the truckers. You can see that with a lot of people who shit was operating cool a few years ago that's not got the same motion. You can tell that they're stressed out, that they're mad because they're not getting ahead. And that's, a lot of them are barely maintaining or staying afloat. And yet, you know, women still thinking that, you know, as times get tougher and economy and stuff get higher, that men are going to be paying to go on dates with y'all, with women that don't really like them like that. I beg to differ, man, because, like, at the end of the day, it's all about self-preservation in this jungle. Self-preservation comes first. And so I might have to cut some of y'all women off, you know, put my purpose on a priority, which is already on the priority, but other things that might come before that, you know, that's more important. So that's how you got to be thinking, man. That's how you got to be moving. Like, yo, you got to be moving like, I need to go here, I need to do this, and that. What is this woman going to benefit me outside of the immediate gratification that I might potentially get? And that's the thing. It's not guaranteed. A lot of these women that y'all out here dating and pursuing and stuff, none of that stuff is guaranteed. But they still want you to guarantee payment on the date, on the meal. So that's worse than tricking. You know what's worse than tricking? At least tricks get what they pay for. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all dudes not even getting what y'all paid for. Can you imagine that? I don't know what's worse. Y'all tell me in the comments. Like, what's worse? Is it worse to trick on a girl and not get nothing in return? Or is it worse to pay for it? Or is it worse to pay for love? Because that's what most dudes are doing in marriages anyway. They're paying for some chick to make an emotional connection or bond with them for several years at a time. What do you think is worse? Please let me know. I would love to hear the responses.